Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14 premiere that happened this past Sunday. It started off with Kenya Moore being at the dance studio with her dance partner from Dancing with the Stars. His name was Brandon, and they showed her practicing a little bit with Brandon, and then Kandi walked in to support Kenya, and then after Kandi walked in, it was Marlo. And then Marlo came in, with her little short wig and the black dress with the split in the front. And so Brandon took off and left, and the girls sit down to talk about what was going on. And Kenya asked Kandi what was going on with her. Kandi said she was doing all right, and they asked Marlo what was going on with her, and Marlo said she was doing good, and she wanted to. She came because she wanted to tell them about the archive event that she was thinking about putting on, and so they asked Marlo, was she dating anybody, and she said yeah. I only date billionaires. And then they said, what about the man you date now? She said, well, I'm dating somebody now, but I really don't know what he do. And then Kandi said, well, we don't know what you do. And then that's when they showed Sheree walking down the street, and they just showed half of her body, just showed her, just showed the lower part of her body. And then she opened the door and she walked in, and then she said, well, who y'all talking about? Don't know what they do. And she came back down, and everybody got to hugging and greeting each other and stuff like that. And then that's when Sheree said, what's going on? And they were saying, yeah, we were just talking about Marlo, and Marlo was talking about she dating this man, but she don't know what he do, and stuff like that. So, what's going on? And then Kenya chimed in and said, well, what about you, Sheree? What about Tyrone? What's going on with you and Tyrone? She said, well, Tyrone is out, and she said Tyrone is out, and he's here. She said, oh, he's here in Atlanta. She said, oh no, he's in New Jersey. And she said, well, how did she said, well, have y'all been together? She said, yeah, we've been together one time. It was just a quickie. And then Kandi said, just a quickie. And she said, well, yeah, now I just told y'all he in New Jersey and stuff. And she said, well, he doing all right. And then so that's when Kandi said, well, me and Todd are not knocking boots the way we used to a long time ago, because I'm so busy, and I'm so busy, and I be tired when I get home. You go to sleep. And Marlo say, girl, you gonna have to give up one of them jobs you got and give Todd a little something. And then it flashed to the next scene. It flashed to the next scene where Marlo was in the kitchen. Cooking breakfast and getting her nephews off to school. And she told one of her nephews, she said, did you brush your teeth and take a shower? And the older one did, but the younger one still in bed. Said, ooh, go and get yourself. And she was making breakfast for them and stuff like that. And then she got them off on their way to school. That was a nice little cute episode of them showing Marlo, interacting with her nephews and how she's raising her nephews. And Marlo said, well, I'm more of a Monty, and the producers asked Marlo in a confessional, what is a Monte? She said a Monte is like a mom and an auntie. And so I said, well, yeah, that's what she's doing. And then it switched to the next scene where Drew and her husband Ralph were driving to the gym to meet up Sonya and her husband, and then they got to the gym, and that's when Drew was telling Sonya that she signed up for this meal prep company and weight loss and health and wellness thing, and she was saying, yeah, it's called Drop It Like Drew. and so she said, yeah, I'm working on my exercise and stuff like that. And so they had a personal trainer there, and the personal trainer gave Drew and Sonya some wands to run back and forth down the aisle. And what it was, when they got through exercising, that's when Drew told Sonya that she read some kind of text message or something where some assistant was telling her husband that she would give him a massage. And so while Drew was telling Sonya, Ralph was telling what you call the same kind of story. He said, well man, you know how you going to say, I'm married life. Say, sometimes it's good, then sometimes it's something else. You know, I had an assistant and Drew just went completely out. He said Drew just completely lost it. And then so Aaron was looking kind of funny, and then so Sonya said in her confessional, how can Drew be talking about drop it like Drew when she can't even exercise right? She can't even do the sit-ups and pull-ups. What's going on? And then the next thing you know, the scene switched to Sonya, where Sonya was at her house, and you could tell they were just moving in, and it was Sonya, her husband Aaron, her mom Sharon, and her daddy Newton. And so she was saying that she wanted to bring her mom and dad along to move in with them, and you could tell that they had kind of, they were still unpacking and still moving in. So they were sitting down, I guess they were eating lunch or whatever. And then Aaron brought up that he wants some more kids, and Sonya was saying, well, I got my career going on. I'm kind of busy right now and stuff like that. And so Sonya kind of asked her little son, because his little son that came downstairs eat, and she said, would you like a little brother or sister? He said, no, I like a dog. And then that's when Sonya mama Sharon said, well, yeah, if she's too busy. And then the daddy chimed in and said, no, that is not no reason for her not to have a kid just because she says she's busy. And I remember this was kind of the same storyline when they had their own show. They were arguing about, at that time when they had their own show, I think it was on WeTV, at that time both of them were busy working and being athletes. But now that her husband is a retired football player and stuff like that, he want more kids. But it seems like Sonya don't want no more kids. And then it switched to it switched to the next scene where it switched to the next scene where Marlo was inviting all the girls. She had sent some lady with a computer to give the girls the invitations, and he said, I want y'all to come to my elegant fashion event called Law Archives. I'll see you there. And then I said, oh, that was so cute. And then Kenya was talking about, well, when you tell her she could have did a better job of that, she could have emailed, she could have did that. The other girls didn't mind it being an invitation through a computer or laptop, but Kenya always got something negative to say about anybody's stuff. But anyway, so it was like after that. It was like after that they showed Kenya again, and they showed her at her house, and she was at her house asking her little daughter, you gotta come help me, Brooklyn. And Brooklyn was helping her, and she's talking, Brandon, he's a nice young man. He's my dance instructor. And then she said, well, that part right there was when she told Brandon that it was somebody don't answer the door, and that's when they found out it was about the computer, about the girls with the computer. And I'm looking at Kenya. Brandon is much too young for you. He's just your dance partner. He ain't on there trying to give you no storyline and stuff like that. And then it switched to the next scene. Then it switched to the next scene where where Sonya and Kandi was at Drew's house, and Drew said that she wanted them to taste out her meal prep thing and stuff. She wanted to see how it tasted. So Sonya arrived first, and Drew introduced her assistant. She had an assistant named Chef Chastity, and another assistant named Shantae, and then she had this other over-the-top assistant. I can't think of his name. I guess his name was Jay or something. But anyway, So when Kandi came in, Drew introduced the same people, but then that over the top J guy, I know you Candy Birds, and you just bragging. Kandi said, look at that funny look on her face, and he was kind of over the top in the way he was acting and stuff. And Drew and Kandi said, the meal prep was all right, it was okay, and then Drew gonna try to claim that she lost 25 pounds in 3 weeks, and Sonya got to looking funny with a shocked look. Kandi said, "Oh, I don't believe she lost no 25 pounds no 3 weeks." And then production put up the before and after pictures, and Kandi said, "Look like the same weight to me." And she said, "Girl, you still got a butt. What are you talking about?" And so that's when Sonya brought up the situation about what Drew told her at the gym about her husband and the assistant. And Keyna said, what? She said, what went on? She said, yeah, I looked at my husband's cell phone, and he had this assistant. He thought this assistant was supposed to be helping him work on his book. And then she gonna talk about that she should have been the one that gave him a rub. And then next thing you know, the producers had sent in Ralph, and Ralph said, what y'all talking about? What y'all going on? And Keyna said, I heard you had some assistant that wanted to give you a massage. He said, nah, I wasn't like that. Drew ain't telling the story right. And you talking about what it was, my back was hurting real bad, and what it was, I needed a massage, and she was trying to give me and Drew said, that's not what I read on the text message. The text message said she should have been the one that went on and gave you a massage since your back was hurting you. And then he talking about, well, Drew got upset about me uncomfortable. And Sonya said, well, if it makes your wife uncomfortable, you shouldn't even have that woman having that woman's text message in your phone like that. You should delete that phone. You should do whatever your wife said. Oh, it was just an instant mistake. You could tell Kandi and Sonya didn't. Kandi and Sonya didn't like what Ralph was saying. They didn't agree with nothing what Ralph said. And then it switched to and then it switched to the next scene where Sheree was talking to Marlo on the phone, and she was telling Marlo, I'll see you at your event. Marlo said, yeah, I'm just checking on in your girl to see how you was going. And then the next thing you know, everybody was getting ready for the event. They showed Kandi and Taj coming. They showed Angela Simmons coming, a lot of other Hollywood people, and they showed Drew coming, and everybody was noticing that Drew and Sonya had on a lime green dress that was kind of similar. They said, oh yeah, y'all look good. Y'all look good, we look good. And then Sheree finally showed up with her friend. And then so Kenya showed up last in that pretty white dress, and everything was going on. And then they were saying, where's Marlo? And Kandi said, well, Marlo was supposed to be here. She said, it's 8:30. Said, what time things supposed to start? And she said, it's supposed to start at 8:30. She ain't here yet. And then Kenya got to looking around and say, ooh, the venue looked nice, but the other stuff ain't right. I thought she would have models. And Kandi said, I thought she would have food around or something, but she had some kind of little hors d'oeuvres with shrimps and stuff like that. And so they was looking all around at the clothes and stuff. And they were saying, what is she doing? Is she buying the clothes? She's selling clothes or whatever? And then Marlo finally showed up. They said around 9:30. And then she got up there and she got to introducing people and thanking people. And she had on some kind of orange feathery dress. And I did like the orange feathery dress. And I did like some of the confessional looks. I put that in the video. But back to the point. She did that, and then so she introduced everybody, and then so when she came over there, they said, well, Marlo, what are you doing? And Kandi said, she said, well, how you doing? Kandi said, how you doing this, Marlo? Are you renting the clothes? She said, no, I'm renting out the clothes. She said, these are all my old clothes, all these old clothes that I bought a long time ago, and what I'm renting them out to studios. Because a lot of times the studios need fashion for their shows and stuff. And so Sonya pointed out. She said that's not supposed to be no L and no archive. no E and no archives. It's just supposed to be an L. And she said I did take a little French in college. And then so even Kenya got to talking about that. She said, yeah, I thought she would have some models. And then they kept on saying that. And so what happened after they got through talking and stuff, Sheree and Sonya went over there and told Marlo, because Marlo had changed clothes. She got into some kind of red dress, some kind of red leather dress, looked like it had some pretty red embellishes on the front. And then she said, what they say? She said, yeah, they doing around talking about your venue ain't good. They thought you would have models. They thought you have a lot of food and this and that and that. Marlo say, well, I copied this from the French people. And most French people, they have like a few hors d'oeuvres and this, that, and that. And so she said, you know what? Kenya always talking about stuff. Every time I have an event, even my wig event, she ruined my wig event, which she did. And then next thing you know, Marlo came over there and she said, she said, Kenya, why come every time I do something, you got something to say about it, She said, and then Kenya said, why you cussing, you ain't got to cuss. And she said, I wasn't the only one. And then Kandi chimed in too and said, no, she wasn't the only one that said something, we all said something. And then so she said, well, who told you, how you found out? And then Sonya said, well, I told her. And then Kenya said in her confessional, is Sonya being the next